at City Hall with Shane from Duke Winston Clothing Company, which started out with a single t-shirt, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So about 6 years ago, I was working in IT, and I was looking for something different to do, and I read about a company in Boston called Johnny Cupcakes, and turned a graphic with a cupcake on it into like a huge clothing line. And I was kind of sitting in my apartment staring at my bulldog Duke, and I was like, what if I put Duke on a t-shirt and see if I could sell that to my friends or something. And I kind of did that, and then I built it up into a kind of a full lifestyle brand. So it's become kind of a preppy casual wear line. Most of the graphics feature Duke on it, but we've gone from t-shirts to polos, hats, hoodies, ties, and almost kind of turned it into a full clothing line.
That's amazing. Now, where did you first start selling your t-shirts?
So the first t-shirt that I ever made, I think I printed about 50 of them, and I actually printed them with like an iron-on printer, and I probably lost like 20 of them in the printing process. And in Philadelphia, there's a part of the town called the Piazza, which is kind of like a big open, kind of like a market. And it actually opened up the week that I started the clothing line, which is very lucky for me. And you could pay $50 to set up a table, and every Saturday and Sunday I would go out there and sell the t-shirts. And I sold the first 25 shirts in my first 2 days, and I would kind of print more shirts, and by the end of the summer I was able to sell about 100 t-shirts every couple of days at this market, and that was it for about the first 2 years of business.
Now tell us about your shop.
So fast forward 5 years, I was able to kind of grow the company, and I had the opportunity to move from my apartment in Northern Liberties that had the store in my living room. I turned my living room into a store, essentially. And I would get out of bed and roll out of bed and go sell t-shirts. But I got a lot of press from that, and a lot of tourists and stuff would kind of just show up at my door like wanting to buy shirts, and that kind of opened the door for me to move to Center City, which is usually reserved for, I guess, more corporate larger companies, right at 18th and Chestnut. And it was an opportunity that I jumped at, and so now I've moved to a flagship kind of location right in the center of Philadelphia, which is awesome.
Who designed your clothes?
So I designed probably about 90% of everything, and then what I've realized is for me to get the line and have it have such a larger audience, I kind of need like a very professional designer to finish it. So my graphic designer actually works for Ralph Lauren, and he takes the kind of like my rough drafts and then makes them sellable. So
you must be so proud.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot of work.
It is hard work.
It's funny because I don't leave the office really, and then when I walk around and I see people wearing the shirts, and I'm like, oh okay, so people actually like it, because you never really see it until you leave.
Explain what your average day is like, because I don't think people understand how hard it is to be a small businessman.
Yes, it's insane. I mean, people always say to me that you can't be as busy as you say you are, and I probably spend like my entire day just dealing with every type of issue that you can deal with, from shipments being lost, and you actually spend your days not designing, which is really what you want to be doing, but just dealing with everything from customer service issues. I get on average about 400 emails a day, and out of those 400, probably about 150 have to be answered. And if they're answered, then there's responses and stuff. So you're looking at 4 hours or 5 hours of emails. And then I have to run to all the factories that make our stuff within about 5 miles from the city. So I have to go to each factory and deal with all of that. And then employees, I'm now finally able to hire. I have 7 very young, very inexperienced employees. So, they need me for kind of everything. And then by 9 p.m. is when I sit down and actually start to design. And I'll do that from about 9 to 4 a.m., sleep for 2 hours, wake up, and kind of do it again. So
yeah. The life of a small businessman is not glamorous.
There's nothing.
It's a lot of hard work, a lot of bureaucracy,
Yep.
a lot of babysitting.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you still have time for your creativity.
Absolutely. I found that at night is the best time to do that. So when everyone's kind of asleep is when I just can kind of like, wind down and start designing.
Now, how long have you lived in Philly?
I moved here in '95 with my parents from the UK, and so that's 20 years now. And first started out in Cheltenham, which is just a suburb of Philadelphia, and I went to Temple, and I've been here ever since.
What part of Philly has made you who you are?
What
is it about Philly that has made you who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that, moving to Northern Liberties from Center City about 5 years ago to start the company, because I was very close to moving to New York. I mean, I was probably about a week away from moving there, but I went to Northern Liberties and found an apartment for $300, in the middle of a huge city, and I decided to stay because I knew that I could afford the rent and I could build the company up and not have rent and things like that kill me. And I think that's the one thing about Philadelphia that has been so awesome is it's a very big city. You don't really feel like it's a big city when you're here, but it's a big city, but you can still do things really cheaply. So if you're trying to start a business, the expenses that most cities will kind of take out of you, you haven't gotten there yet. So things are relatively cheap, and you can make little mistakes here and there and not have them, wreck you financially. So
absolutely. So how do people follow you on social media?
Our Twitter is twitter.com/Duke Winston. It's all written out. Our Instagram is Duke Winston also, and so is our Facebook. So we make it really easy.
Well, I hope people come and check it out. I hope when people come here for the convention next year that they stock up on their Duke and Winston fashion apparel.
Yep.
So everybody's walking around looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, with bulldogs on their shirts.
With bulldogs on their shirt. You still have your bulldog?
Oh yeah, of course. I actually have 2 puppies coming next week, so 2 10-week-old puppies.
So you're expanding the bulldog family.
Expand the family, yeah.
Okay. Shane, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thanks.